and then Sarah, come over here.
Yep.
And then Larry's going to talk first. Just slide back a little bit. Good. Come on closer.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, do a check. Everybody ready? Everybody
Good.
ready?
Good afternoon. A little under a week ago, I received a phone call from a Miss Othel Moore. She told me a story that was just utterly heartbreaking. She talked about the death of her brother here, who is housed in the Department of Corrections in Missouri. It broke my heart. I'm attorney Larry Disparti. My firm is based in Chicago, but we handle cases nationwide. As we spoke, I knew that I had to do something to help this family. So right after we spoke, I went on and assembled a team of the best lawyers and investigators in the country. And that's what we're doing here today, to talk about this case. And I'd like to turn this over to Andrew Stroth, one of the top lawyers in the country that is going to be helping us out.
Thanks for everyone for being here today, and I appreciate Larry Disparti and Disparti Law building this team to serve this family that's here today. Othel Moore is on my right. Her mother, Miss Scott, is right next to her. We also have Sergio Saratella, who is the president and CEO of Vantius Investigations, which is a global investigation firm. We have Sarah Saratella, who's also part of our investigative team. Why are we here today? We're here because on December 8th at Jefferson City Correctional Center, Othel Moore, a 38-year-old black man, was unjustifiably killed. 11 days later, we don't know anything. This family doesn't know anything. We haven't seen the video. We haven't seen the tape. What we know is that the Jefferson City Correctional Center is a dangerous place, and it's a particularly dangerous place for black men. What we know is that several individuals have died in the custody and control of the Jefferson City Correctional Center, as well as in the Missouri Department of Corrections. You can tell the impact of this just by hearing Miss Scott right now, who lost her son. What we know is that there's been over 117 deaths in the Missouri Department of Corrections. And what's really inflammatory and disturbing about this is, based on the direction and authority of the warden or assistant warden at JCC, they ordered the CERT team to go in and do a search. Some of you may or may not know what a CERT team is. Let me tell you, CERT stands for Corrections Emergency Response Team. That team came in, went to Othel's cell, and aggressively attacked him. They put him in a wraps device. They put a hood over his head. But we haven't seen the tape. It's our understanding that this CERT team, this extraction team, is a 5-person unit, a 5-person squad that pepper sprayed Othel. It's our understanding that there's an officer named Bull who leads this 5-unit team that pepper sprayed him and put him into the wrap restraint device. What we know is that after spraying Othel and attacking him and putting him in the wrap, is that people heard him say he couldn't breathe. Othel Moore couldn't breathe. We also understand that he was screaming he couldn't breathe and that there was blood coming out of his ears, blood coming out of his mouth. What we know is that after that attack of Miss Scott's son and Oriole's brother, is that they failed to render any medical aid or care. They left this black man to die after the CERT team went after him. What we also know is that this family, Oriole and Miss Scott, did not learn about Othel's death from the prison. In fact, Oriole called the prison over 10 times to find out what happened to her brother. She spoke to the assistant warden, Miss Raina Martin. Miss Martin told her your brother is deceased. She said, how? What happened? Her answer, I don't know what happened to your brother. And then this warden, assistant warden Martin, hung up the phone, callously hung up the phone on Othel Moore. What we know is that this 38-year-old black man was affectionately called Little O. His dad was Big O, Sr. We know that Little O liked to listen to music. He liked Mary J. Blige. He liked Boyz II Men. What we know is Little O liked to cook and was always helping his family. In fact, Othel told me last night about how her brother was her protector, her guardian, her helper. What we know is right now, as we speak, in St. Louis, where Othel's body is at the funeral home, we have an independent doctor, Dr. Jane Turner, conducting a second autopsy on the body of Othel Moore, because we want to know the objective evidence of what had happened to him. Today, the Moore family wants justice. But what's justice? There's no justice. Othel's not coming back. Miss Scott's not going to have her son back. But what we're asking for is we're asking the warden, Doris Falkenrath, who's the warden of the JCC, to immediately turn over all of the objective evidence. We haven't seen the video. Produce the video. Produce the audio. Produce the reports from prison, the investigative reports. Tell us the name of Bull and the other members of the extraction team that killed Othel Moore. Show us the policies and procedures of the JCC prison, because we want to know, and this family deserves to know. What are the use of force policies? The gold standard in these investigations are extractions are recorded. So there should be video evidence of that extraction that took place by this terror unit led by Bull. At this time, I'd like you to hear from the family. I'd like you to hear from Othel. Othel told me in our conversations that her family grew up in the church. She used to sing a special song to her brother Othel, and the song was "The Victory Is Mine." The victory is mine. Well, Othel is not going to be here to hear Othel sing to him again. And I think we need to think about we're demanding the evidence, we're demanding the video, we're demanding that the Warren provides its information. The Missouri Department of Corrections has a pattern and practice of abuse of black men, and we're going to do everything we can to support this family within the legal system to get justice for this family. With that, I want to turn it over to Othel Moore. It's O-R-I-E-L, last name Moore, M-O-O-R-E.
My brother was 38 years old, and he was going to be here for me for the rest of his life. He always been here for me. He was only a year older than me. My brother loved people. Anybody he came into contact with, they still know him to this day since we were kids. He loved music. He loved to cook. He loved everybody in his family. He would never do anything wrong to any people that he came into contact with. My brother loved his mother. Since we was kids, he's always been there for me, for my older two brothers as well. He not only was there for me, he took care of me by himself a lot of times. My brother won't be here to see my kids grow up. My brother won't be here to protect me no more. I can't confide in him. He can't confide in me. I've always fought for him, and he always fought for me. And now that he can't fight for himself, and I wasn't there to fight for him, I'm going to fight for him this way, because I know this is what he will want me to do. I miss him already. We feel a void. We feel a big void in this family. My whole family is suffering. I mean, I just can't believe this happened to him. He was a 38-year-old man. He should not have been treated this way. He should still be here. I shouldn't have to do this. I shouldn't have to do this.
We'll take any few questions before we end, so stay here. If there's any specific questions, please.
If my understanding is correct, Othel was due to be released, ending his sentence in just a matter of years. Can you talk about that? And does
It does make it harder. He was already gone for so long, and he only had a small amount of time left compared to how long he has been there. We were all waiting for him. We had plans for the future. Me and my brother, we had plans.
Anything else?
I spoke with him 2 months ago. Because he wasn't able to use the phone for the last 2 months. And the last time I spoke to him, that's what he told me, that he wouldn't be able to call me.
Have any comments that you felt in danger or guards were not treated?
Very much so. For the last 6 years, he been complaining to me about the abuse and mistreatment that he been getting from the correctional officers, specifically, that he couldn't eat his food. He lost so much weight from not eating, from people spitting in his food and having fingerprints in his food, that he was scared to eat it, to the point where he was only eating when he got food from other inmates.
So are you guys, just to clarify, filing a lawsuit at this point, or what legal action are you taking?
So here's the reality. We don't have the objective evidence. We are waiting for the video. We are waiting for the reports. We want to find out what happened. We came in today from Chicago because we're going to be taking legal action. But before we do that, we want to turn over all of the objective evidence regarding this incident. And there's a pattern of practice in the Missouri Department of Corrections, and it's clear Othel, unfortunately, is the latest victim of the abuse within this prison.
When you requested the evidence and documents, were you putting that in as a sunshine request?
We're sending out the preservation letters, and we're also sending out the sunshine request. We also have a full investigative team that's going to be on the ground, getting as much information as we can. We are asking, demanding, requesting on behalf of this family that they turn over this video, because there's video of what happened to Othel. And for the warden, the assistant warden, to tell Oriel that she doesn't know what happened, how is that possible in the care and custody of the Department of Corrections?
How were you able to get the information that you do have about what might have happened?
We're not going to talk to that. Okay. Anything else? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.